watching the word and listening to the word. What the devil wants to do is that if he can undermine the word, look what happens, because verse 19 says, in the what? Cares of what? This word, of this world, and what? The deceitfulness of what? Riches, and what? The desires for what? The things that you went to bed mad last night with your spouse, that you woke up mad with what happened, what your grandmother did to you 10 years ago, that you're mad at what the boss did, you're mad at what's going on at the church, all this stuff, as it were. What happens entering, and look what they all do. They do what? They what? Choke the what? Word, and it what? Become unfruitful. And so the enemy doesn't mind if you get in the word. He can depend on all the worries to choke the word. And saints, don't you realize? Listen, the word worry, listen, saints, it actually means to choke. It actually means to strangle. You know what the chokehold is, right? Well, what the enemy would love to do is choke us and strangle us with worry, and choke us and strangle us with care, and all this going on in our lives. This is what someone has said about worry. They've said that worry is faith. Listen now. Worry is faith in the negative, trust in the unpleasant, assurance of disaster, and belief of defeat, okay? In other words, you know what worry is? Worry is basically a negative faith, okay? Faith says God can do all things, but worry says, oh God, you know what, it's on me. If I don't make this happen, it's not gonna happen. Worry is wasting, someone said, today's time to clutter up tomorrow's opportunities. Worry is like rocking in a rocking chair. Listen now. You know rocking chair? Listen. Rocking chair, it gives you something to do. You know, just rocking back and forth. That's right. And that's what worry does. Mm-hmm. You're all, again, undone and what have you. But although it gives you something to do, you never go anywhere with it. I know I've got to move on, but let me tell you something. One time that when you get time, you need to go back. We don't have time today. Go back and read Matthew chapter 6. Again, we won't look at it today, but it gives all the reasons why worry does not accomplish anything. Worry, the Word of God says nobody's never grown overnight due to worry. Worry is unproductive. And you know what the biggest problem with worry is? The biggest problem with worry is that when Jesus says that he takes care of the sparrows, never will see a sparrow worrying or bird worrying. And Jesus says, if I can take care of the sparrow, don't you know I can take care of you? And my friends, we've got to trust the Lord that he is able. And if we trust the pattern, overcome the problem. Thirdly and lastly, let's go back to Luke chapter 10. We have to come to grips with what I want to call the priority in Luke chapter 10, verse 22. The priority says that, now I want to make it clear, Luke chapter 10, verse 42. Luke chapter 10, verse 42. At the end of the story, here is Martha demanding of Jesus to get Mary up. And then he concludes this by saying this. Look, Martha. Look, Martha. Look here. I know you got a lot going on. I even know that you fixed this sumptuous dinner for me. I know you got this meeting here and you got this meeting there. I know you got this issue in your life and that issue in your life. But look what Jesus says. Jesus says what? But what? One thing is what? Needed and what? And listen now, Mary what? Has chosen what? That good part, which what? Will not be taken away from her. And when I say the priority, and I'm about to close, when I say the priority, listen now. When we talk about the priority, saints, we don't have time for everything. We really don't. Is that right? Come on now. We don't get it. It's really, we do not have time for everything. But what we do, what? Make time for the what? Most important thing. And this is what Matthew chapter 6, you probably know it by heart by now. After Jesus got through addressing worry, he says, but seek ye what? First. Come on now, but seek ye what? First. But seek ye now what? First the what? Kingdom of what? God and what? His righteousness, and nothing can get more important than who God is. And he says, and what? All these what? Things. Oh, all these what? All these what? Things. God knows about the things you're facing. But all these things will what? Be added unto you. And I don't want to give the idea there's this magic formula that just because you put God first in the morning, God's got to make it work out in your favor. I ain't what I'm saying, but you know what I done found? Do you believe God's true to his word? Yeah. Do you believe in it? Has there ever been a time that God has, when you go ahead and put him first, God knows how to make the rest of the day work out. Something about when you put him first, or the problems you thought that you couldn't get through, that he's worked them all out. Have you found that if you go ahead and put him first, God is true to his word. True to his word, true to his word. One day the Queen of England, as a musician comes, one day the Queen of England, there's a particular businessman that she wanted to go overseas and take care of some business for the Queen in another country. And the businessman said to the Queen, look, you need to understand, I got a business here to run. And this is what the Queen did. The Queen looked at the businessman and said, I tell you what, you go on overseas and take care of my business. And will you let me take care of your business? When the businessman got back a month or two later, guess what? The business had not only thrived, it had doubled. But see, he had to be willing to trust the Queen. And friends, when it comes to dealing with distractions in our life, when it comes to prioritizing, God knows all that you're under. Just stand on your feet. God knows all that you're under, okay? He knows, he knows. But would you begin to trust God and put God first, however that looks like in your life, and God says, you take care of my business. That is, put me first. Whether it's put him first in your time, and I don't want to apply it too many places. That includes putting him first in your finances, putting him first in your relationships, putting him first when it comes to solving your life problems, putting him first. And when we put him first, guess what he'll do? You take care of his business. Guess what? He'll take care of your business. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. If you just put him first, especially when it comes to time with him. One thing is needful. One thing is needful. And while we have to make those tough decisions, let's put him first. Let us sing.